Hello everyone, welcome to session 10 of IASbaba's Rapid Revision series or RaRe series for UPSC Prelims Examination 2021. I am Preetham Reddy and in this session I will be dealing with 10 important topics from Environment and Science and Technology which are important for UPSC Prelims Examination 2021. So today we are in day 12. So day 12 schedule of RaRe series or Rapid Revision series, right? So in today's session we will be dealing with some important current affair articles, especially from Environment and Science and Tech day 12 schedule. So first topic is Global Forest Resource Assessment 2020, International Day of Forests, Bunny Grasslands, and then net present value of forest, and we will try to understand the functioning of Forest Advisory Committee. And then Deheng Patkai and Raimona National Park, and then Advanced Chaff Technology. So it comes under the defense part of Science and Technology. So we'll be dealing with 5 topics from defense. So countermeasure dispensing system, critical near isothermal forging technology, and naval innovation and indigenization organization. And there were some important defense exercises which were in news. So we'll be dealing all these important topics. So first topic, Global Forest Resource Assessment 2020. So this topic is important, Global Forest Resource Assessment 2020, because it was recently released by FAO, that is United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. So first fact what you have to know is this particular report or assessment, it is released by Food and Agriculture Organization. So this particular forest resource assessment, it reports on the status and it reports on the trend of world's forest resources, right? So we have more than 60 forest related variables in 236 countries and territories, and this particular FRA, that is Forest Resource Assessment, it has examined the trend and status of all these world's forest resources and over the period of 1990 to 2020. So these 2 points are important. So Forest Resource Assessment, it is led by the Forest Department of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations body. Okay, so we'll see what are the key findings. So first point, forests cover nearly 1/3 of the land globally. So this assessment provides that forest coverage is nearly around 1/3 of the land, and more than half, that is 54% of the world's forests, they are in only 5 countries. So what are those 5 countries we can see here? So first, Russia. So Russia has the highest forest coverage, that is 20%, and then Brazil. So Brazil has 12%, Canada has 9%, US has 8%, and China 5%. So these are the 5 important countries. So more than half of the world's forests, they are in this 5 countries. So next important point what we have to know is tropical zone contains the highest percentage of forests at 45%. So of the major climatic regions, the tropical zone, it contains the highest percentage of forest, that is 45%. So you can see in this figure. So tropical forest, it contains 45%, boreal 27%, temperate 16%, and subtropical 11%. So this is the next fact we have to remember, that is the proportion and distribution of global forest area by climatic domain. So when we take care of the climatic region, so the tropical zone, they contain the highest percentage of forest. So next important fact what we have to know is 93% of forests are naturally regenerating forests and 7% is planted. So around 93% of the forest area worldwide, it is composed of naturally regenerating forests, and the area of naturally regenerating forests, it is decreasing, and the area of planted forests, it is increasing. So this is what the finding is telling, especially from 1990 if we take the assessment. So the area of naturally regenerating forest is decreasing, which is bad, and the area of planted forest is increasing. So we are taking up afforestation programs. So next important finding is Africa had the largest annual rate of net forest loss in 2010 to 2020. So in the last decade, so it was Africa which had the largest annual rate of net forest loss, and then Asia had the highest net gain. So Asia is under the highest net gain, so it's good. So when it comes to largest annual rate of net forest loss, during 2010 to 20, it is Africa, we can see in the figure. So Africa minus 3.9, and then it is followed by South America, which is minus 2.6. that is around 3.9 million hectare of forest land, like there was net forest loss, and around 2.6 million hectare in South America, so it was converted into non-forest. Okay, so these are the two important facts which you have to remember. And then Oceania, and next, as you can see in the figure, even Oceania, there was net losses during 1990 till 2010, but 2010 to 20 there is some net gain. Okay, so compared to all other continents or all other area, Asia is doing better. So let's see next point. So the world's forest area is decreasing, but rate of loss has slowed. So according to this assessment, so according to the state of forests worldwide, so the rate of forest loss, it is slowing down, because even though world's forest area is decreasing, but the rate of loss, it has slowed. So what is the major reason for that? It is because of afforestation program. It is because of policies which are aimed at reduction in deforestation, and also maybe because of natural expansion of forests. So we can say that the rate of decline of net forest loss, especially when you compare the 2010 to 20. So as you can see in the figure, so the loss, it has been reduced, especially in the recent decade. So we can say the rate of decline of net forest loss, it has slowed. So we'll go for next point. Out of 6 major world regions, South America has the highest share of forests in the protected areas. So as you can see in this figure, when compared to other world regions such as Africa, Asia, Europe, North and Central America, Oceania, okay, so South America, it has the highest proportion of forest in protected areas. Okay, so this particular fact is important, and 73% of the world's forest is under public ownership and 22% is privately owned. So this is what the assessment, that is forest resources assessment, is providing. So we have to know there is predominance of public ownership compared to the private ownership. However, the share of publicly owned forests, they are decreasing since 1990, and the area of forest under private ownership has increased. So this is one more point you have to know. That is, the share of public ownership, it is decreasing, whereas private, it is increasing when we compare 1990 to current 2020. So next you should know, India has ranked third among the top 10 countries that have gained in forest areas. So something good. So India has ranked third among the top 10 countries that have gained in forest areas, especially in the last decade, as per this latest global forest resource assessment, which is brought out by FAO, that is Food Agriculture Organization, and the top 10 countries that have recorded the maximum average annual net gain in forests. So who are the net gain forest producers? So they are China, Australia, India, Chile, Vietnam, Turkey, United States, France, Italy and Romania. So remember, China, Australia and India, they are doing good. So they have recorded the maximum average annual net gains in forest area when 2010 to 2020. So these are some of the important facts which might help in prelims examination. So next important topic is International Day of Forests. So first fact what you have to remember is, United Nations, it observes March 21st as the International Day of Forests. So March 21st is celebrated as International Day of Forests in order to recognize the importance of green cover around the world, right? And next you have to know this International Day of Forests. So it is celebrated by United Nations Environment Forum and also FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization, along with collaboration with different governments. So next we'll try to understand the theme of this year 2021, forest restoration, a path to recovery and well-being. So this is the theme for this year. So the theme for each year, it is chosen by the collaborative partnership on forests. So this year theme is forest restoration, a path to recovery and well-being, and this year's theme aim to emphasize how restoration and sustainable management of forests, it can help address climate change, at the same time reduce biodiversity crisis. So next, the theme of International Day of Forests, they are aimed to fit into UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. So here you have to remember this important point. So now 2021 to 2030. So we are in this phase. So this phase, United Nations General Assembly, it has declared as UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration. So you can remember under UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, which calls for the protection and revival of ecosystems around the world. So you have to know what is the meaning of restoration. And second important thing what you have to know, during 2011 to 2020, so we called that particular decade as UN Decade on Biodiversity. So we used to call UN Decade on Biodiversity. So now in 2020, this UN Decade on Biodiversity, it came to end, and so the new UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration started, and this was announced during Bonn Challenge. So there was a high-level meeting which took place in El Salvador during the Bonn Challenge 2018. So that's the reason you have to know about UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration and also Bonn Challenge. So I won't be dealing with these two topics because already I have covered this one in the previous rapid revision series. So last year's rapid revision series, I have already covered exhaustively on this particular topic. So Bonn Challenge, you can check session 6. So for Bonn Challenge, you can check session 6 of previous year RRS, and the topic number is 82. Whereas UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, so you can check session 14. So session 14 and topic number is 204. So in simple, Bonn Challenge, so it is global effort to bring some 150 million hectares of world's deforested and degraded land into restoration by 2020 and around 350 million hectares by 2030. So that was the goal. So you can go through it. So next topic is bunny grasslands. So bunny grasslands was in news because recently NGT, that is National Green Tribunal, it ordered all encroachments to be removed from this particular bunny grasslands. So first you have to know bunny grasslands, it is in Gujarat. So Gujarat bunny grasslands, it was in news because the nomadic pastoralist community, that is Maldaris. So these Maldaris, they were demanding the community forest rights. So NGT also provided that these Maldaris, they will continue to hold the right to conserve the community forests under the Forest Rights Act 2006. That's why these Maldaris and bunny grasslands were in news. So also we have to remember some important facts about bunny grassland. So first important point is this bunny grassland. So it is the largest grassland of Asia, which is situated near Great Run of Kutch in Gujarat, as you can see in the figure. So this is the bunny area. And this bunny accounts for almost 45% of the pastures in Gujarat, and two ecosystems, that is wetlands and grasslands, they are mixed side by side in the bunny. And also this vegetation in bunny, it is very sparse and highly dependent on rainfall, and it is dominated by low growing plant shrubs, forbs and graminoids. And also there are some salt tolerant as well as some scattered tree cover and scrubs. So this is why you have to remember regarding this bunny grasslands. So they are known for rich wildlife as well as biodiversity, and they are currently legally protected under protected or reserve forest in India. And these bunny grasslands, they are peculiar to Run of Kutch. And this bunny grassland is also home to many different tribe people or tribal communities like Maldaris, Hingoras and Mutwa and Halaipotra tribes. Okay, there are different tribes, but remember these Maldaris who are cattle breeders. And next you have to remember two important things. One is Prosopis juliflora. So this particular non-native thorny shrubby species, they have been planted in this particular bunny grasslands by the Gujarat State Forest Department in order to fight salinity issues, especially in the Run of Kutch region. And also there is second thing, Cheerbati, that is ghost light. So in dark nights there is some unexplained strange dancing light phenomena, which is locally known as Cheerbati in Gujarat. So it also occurs in this bunny grasslands. Okay, so these are some of the important facts which you have to remember. So next important topic is net present value of forests. So you should know this concept. So net present value of forest, so it is a mandatory one-time payment for diverting forest land for non-forest use under Forest Conservation Act 1980. So this net present value is nothing but some mandatory one-time payment which private organization should pay when, or private organization or any entity, they have to pay when they divert forest land for non-forest use. So this is calculated on the basis of services and ecological value of the forest. So it depends on the location, it depends on the nature of the forest and the type of industrial enterprises that will replace a particular parcel of forest. So depending on these different cases, the payment or the value will be accordingly charged. So these payments, it will go to compensatory afforestation fund, and they are used for afforestation and reforestation of forests. Okay. And next, who will decide this net present value of forest? So it is decided by the Forest Advisory Committee. So this is important. So this Forest Advisory Committee, which is constituted by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, they decides on whether forests can be diverted for projects and what is the NPV, that is net present value, that should be charged. So for exam, you should also read and revise regarding Forest Advisory Committee as well as Forest Conservation Act. Already questions have been asked from Forest Conservation Act. So this we'll see what is Forest Advisory Committee. So it is the apex body. So it is the apex body that deliberate or that discuss regarding granting permission to industries whether to clear some forest area or whether to fell some forests. Okay. So it is a key statutory body which consider questions on the diversion of forest land for non-forest purposes such as mining, industrial projects, township. Okay. So such kind of decisions, so this particular body only it advises. So it is a statutory body under which particular act? Under Forest Conservation Act, that is Forest Conservation Act 1980. So under this particular act, this particular statutory body is there, which is the apex body, which will deliberate, which will consider question on the diversion of forest land for non-forest purpose, and also it is the one which decides the NPV of the forest. So these facts you have to remember. So next important topic is Dehing, Patkai and Raimona. So these two national parks were recently in news in 2021. So both this Dehing, Patkai and Raimona, so they were before reserve forests and now they are upgraded to national park on June 5th, 2021. So both these reserve forests or national park, it is in Assam. So right now we have Dehing, Patkai plus 7th one, that is Raimona. So you have to know. So totally we have 7. So in total we have 7 national parks in Assam, and now Assam is the state with the second highest number of national parks in the country with 7, and Madhya Pradesh has 11 national parks. So this is the second fact which you have to remember. So where is this Dehang, Patkai and Raimona? It is in Assam. So we have total 7 national park. So as you can see in the figure, Kaziranga National Park, Manas National Park, Rajiv Gandhi Orang National Park, Nameri National Park, Dibru Saikova, and Dehing, Patkai and Raimona National Park. So these are some of the important facts which you have to remember. And since Dehing, Patkai and Raimona was news, so you have to know about these two national parks. So Dehing National Park, so initially it was a elephant reserve. That's why you can see in the figure there is this newly declared Dehing, Patkai with the elephant. So it was a elephant reserve, and this Dehing, Patkai region, it was rich in coal and oil, and it was the last remaining contiguous patch of lowland rainforest area in Assam. That's the reason it is important to protect. At the same time, this Dehing Patkai National Park or this reserve area, it also harbors highest concentration of this rare endangered species, that is white-winged wood duck. Okay, so this is the species which is important. And when it comes to Raimona National Park, so it is surrounded by Pipsu Wildlife Sanctuary in Bhutan to the north, and the Baksa Tiger Reserve in West Bengal to its west, and the Manas National Park to its east. Okay, so this Raimona National Park, it comes somewhere this region. Okay, so to the north it has Pepsu National Park where it is in Bhutan, and to its west it has Baksa Tiger Reserve in West Bengal, and then to its east it has Manas National Park. And this Raimona National Park is also important because it has 11 different forest types and subtypes, and this particular area, it is also home to species like golden langurs, elephants, tigers, clouded leopards, and several species of orchids. Okay, so even good amount of butterflies and various plant species. That's why it is important to protect this Raimona National Park also. So these two national parks were in news. So do remember and do the mapping. So next, science and technology, defense, that is advanced chaff technology. So this particular chaff technology is important because it was recently in news. So DRDO, it has developed this advanced chaff technology to safeguard naval ships against missile attacks. So you can see in the figure, there is this naval ship. So it is using this particular chaff technology in order to avoid or in order to protect itself from incoming missile attack. So why this advanced chaff technology is important? Because DRDO has indigenously developed this advanced chaff technology, and DRDO, it has also developed 3 variants of this critical technology. So it has short range chaff rocket, medium range and long range chaff rocket. So it will meet the Indian Navy's Indian Navy's capability. Okay, so it will meet the Indian Navy's requirement or capability. So for prelims, you just remember chaff is a passive expendable electronic countermeasure technology. So it's a electronic countermeasure technology, and this chaff technology, it is used worldwide. So it is majorly used to protect naval ships from enemy's radar and radio frequency. Okay, so it is important to protect naval ship from enemy's radar and radio frequency missile seeker. So this is the major importance of this chaff system. So this is good because DRDO has gained the expertise, and this technology is being given to the industry for production in large quantities. So next important topic, countermeasure dispensing system. So this countermeasure dispensing system, that is CMDS, it is a passive countermeasure system. So we saw here also this chaff is a passive electronic countermeasure technology. So this chaff is a part of this countermeasure dispensing system. That's why you have to understand this concept, countermeasuring dispensing system. So what is this countermeasure dispensing system? It is a passive countermeasure system against incoming anti-aircraft missiles. So here it deals with the missiles, incoming missiles, whether it is incoming to aircraft or naval ships. So this particular technology, that is countermeasure dispensing system, we use it against the incoming missiles. So it mainly comprises of 2 units. One is chaff system and flare system. So already we saw what is chaff system in the previous topic. So we'll see what is the flare system and chaff system. So chaff and flares, they degrade the performance characteristics of adversary's weapon system and help safeguard own platform. So it's similar to Israel's Iron Dome defense system. Okay, so whenever there is some incoming missile, so what does this CMDS does? This CMDS, it will dispatch either chaff system or flares. So you have to know, so when chaff and flares, they are launched from the onboard CMDS, that is countermeasure dispensing system, they degrade the performance characteristics of adversary's weapon system and they help to safeguard our own platform. Okay, so we'll try to know about chaff system and about flare system. So first we'll see what is this chaff system. So it forms a volumetric radar reflecting material. So you have to know this chaff, it contains materials like aluminium and zinc coated fibers. Okay, so it consists of aluminium and zinc coated fibers. So whenever there is incoming attack, this CMDS, it automatically, it will fire this chaff system, and this chaff, it forms a big volumetric radar reflecting material, and it is composed of distributed metallized radar reflector material. So because of this radar reflecting material, what will happen? It will protect the host aircraft, or it will protect our naval ships. So this radar reflecting material, it will divert and it will act as a distraction. Okay, so this as you can see in the figure, this chaff technology, it creates a cloud of distraction. So it will protect the naval ship or it will protect the aircraft. And next, this flares, they are also part of the CMDS configuration, and here flares are majorly used to protect platform from the infrared seeking missiles. Okay, So one is the infrared seeking missiles, and chaff system is more with radar or RF signal seeking missiles. So flares are more useful in heat sensors or heat seeking missiles, and these flares are made up of magnesium pellets. So whenever there is incoming attack, again this CMDS, that is countermeasure dispensing system, it will fire. So it will fire these flare pellets or magnesium pellets. So these flares, they act as a strong IR source and they will lure the incoming missiles towards it. So the IR radiation which is created by this particular flare, it is larger than that of the aircraft or the naval ships. So this flare attracts the missiles towards it, thereby it will protect the naval ships or it will protect our aircraft. So this is what we have to remember from this particular technology. So next there is critical near isothermal forging technology. Again this technology is important. So we'll see what is this critical near isothermal forging technology. So DRDO has established the near isothermal forging technology to produce all the 5 stages of high pressure compressor discs. So these high pressure compressors discs, they are produced out of difficult to deform titanium alloy using unique 2000 MT isothermal forge process. So DRDO has come up with this near isothermal forging technology, and with which it is able to produce all the 5 types of high pressure compressors which are important in aero engine technology. So with this particular technology, we are able to establish self-reliance in the aero engine technology. And this particular critical near isothermal forging technology, it is important because with this technological development or with this technological breakthrough, India has joined the league of limited global engine developers to have the manufacturing capability of such critical aero engine components. Okay, even resource rich China, it is struggling to achieve this particular development. So DRDO has achieved. So DRDO has achieved this particular technology. That's why this topic is important. So do revise this particular area. So next important topic, naval innovation and indigenization organization. So again this was in news because recently this NIIO was launched. So Indian Navy, it has set up this NIIO which will act as a bridge to meet the technological gap. Okay, so we saw in our previous sessions ISRO's Respond program. So this NIIO, it is similar to ISRO's Respond program. So what did ISRO's Respond program do? It acted as a collaboration between ISRO and academic or some renowned institutions. So in same fashion, this NIIO, it will act as a bridge in order to connect both Navy as well as academia and industries. So Indian Navy has set up this NIIO in order to put in place a dedicated structure so they can interact with industry and also academia towards fostering innovation and indigenization for self-reliance in defense, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay, so you have to know NIIO, it is nothing but there is this collaboration between both academic institutions as well as industries in order to foster innovation as well as indigenization. And under NIIO, there are 3-tiered organization. One is NTAC, that is Naval Technology Acceleration Council, and there is working group under this NTAC, and finally Technology Development Acceleration Cell. So all these 3-tiered organization, what is the major focus? To bring together to foster innovation and indigenization and also to achieve self-reliance, especially in the emerging disruptive technology. Okay, so these are the important points which we have to remember. So next, today's last topic, that is exercises which are in news. So I have compiled all the important exercises which happened in 2020 to 2021. So you can go through all the names and also which particular country is associated with which particular exercise. Okay, so do read this. And the 2 tables in this particular first page, so they are dealing with maritime exercises, and this one other defense exercises like Kanjar exercise desert flag, okay, and exercise desert night or Garuda, exercise Kavach pitch black. Okay, so try to know the names and try to know which countries are associated with which particular exercise. So do revise these topics. Thank you. So we will meet in next session on Monday.